Hello and welcome back, everyone. So great to be with you. Feels like it's been feels like it's been forever since we've had one of our studies, and that was actually, I think it's been one of the longest times without having a daily Zohar study. So it's really nice to get to be back. I hope everyone had a life-changing Seder and first few days of Pesach, including, of course, Shabbat of Pesach. Today being the fourth day of Pesach and the third day of the Omer, and maybe more importantly, the day of elevation of Rav Brandwine, we have an incredible opportunity that we don't want to miss, and that's one of the reasons why we have our study today to tap in to the great light that is available today. Today being the third day of the Omer, being Tiferet of Chesed, the day of Rav Brandwine's elevation, Rav Brandwine being the teacher of the Rav, being the continuation of Ashlag. Without Rav Brandwine, we wouldn't have the Zohar that we have today. Rav Brandwine was the one who worked on all the editing and everything with the printers for Rav Ashlag. Rav Brandwine literally put his blood, sweat, and tears into the um, the publication and printing of the Zohar commentary that we get to use. So, and of course, Rav Brandwine was the one who built our teacher, the Rav. So we, with greater appreciation, of course, to the creator, but specifically to Rav Brandwine as well for having the opportunity to get to do this study today. And with that, we'll draw from his love, from his strength, from his care to be able to really be who we're meant to be. Rav Brandwine was um, so simple and humble, and he changed the world in such a quiet way. Most people, like the Rav said, it was probably one of the smallest funerals of a great Kabbalist. It was just his family there. Almost no one knew him. Almost no one. Um, uh, uh, he didn't get the great respect or recognition for who he really was, but he changed the world like no one will ever know. So we want to connect to that same light and same strength and same love. So with that, let's begin our study today. Meditating that through this study, we change ourselves and we're able to change the world. Let's read the prayer of the Ari to open up our hearts and draw all the support we need from this incredibly powerful study. ריבון העולמים ואדוני האדונים, אב הרחמים והסליחון, מונים מלך לפניך, אדון אלוהינו ולאבותינו, בקידם ושתחווה שקרבת לתורתך ולעבודתך, עבודת הקודש, ונתת לנו חלק מזונות תורתך הקדושה. ואנו מאחלים שעשינו למען החסד הגדול כזה. וכן אנחנו מעפילים תחלוננו לפניך, שתמחו ותסלח לכל חטאותינו ועוונותינו ועוונותינו והבדלים בינינו לבניך. וכן יסורנך אדוני עלינו ולאבותינו, שתכונן את לבבינו ליראתך ולאהבתך. ותקשיב אוזניך לדברי אלה ותפתח לבבינו הערה בזאת תורתך, ויהיה וננזל נחת רוח לפני חסי כבודך כיח ניחוח, ותציל עלינו עומק כל נשמתנו בכל בחינתנו. ושינוצצו לצוצות ולחת הקדושים אשר עיד להם גיליתי דברך בעולם, וזכותם וזכות אבותם וזכות תורתם ותורתם וקדושתם, לעמוד לנו לבד כאשר בדבר מלך וזכותם לעינינו, במה שאנו לומדים כמאמר אם זה מאוד ישראל גל הנביא וביטן נפלא בתורתך, כי אדוני ייתן חוכמה מפי דעת ותבונה. יהיו רצוניים לפי בהגן מלפניך אדוני תשובגו עלי. Okay, so I've come to a very beautiful and powerful section of the Zohar in the story of Joseph, but also in a beautiful lesson that we're going to come to. So we know that Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. He finds himself in the house of of one of Pharaoh's ministers named Potiphar. And Potiphar, we learned already how he entrusted Joseph with his entire household because Joseph was doing miraculous things. Joseph's connection to the Creator and his desire for assistance from the Creator was so strong that the Creator created uh, miracles all the time. Everything Joseph would do was successful, and his master recognized that. So he was put in charge of the whole household. But then Potiphar's wife decides to try and we read already that she cast her eyes upon him and she tried to seduce him. His master's wife tried to seduce him. So now the next part, and we learned a lot about this already in the previous verses, and now the Zohar continues. It says, paragraph 219, "Vahi kedabara elav yom yom." So she made an initial attempt, and he resisted. But it wasn't that she just tried to seduce him once. It says, Genesis 39, verse 10, "Vahi kedabara el Yosef yom yom." She spoke to Joseph every single day. She tried to convince him. She tried to, just even have conversations with him to get things moving in the direction she wanted. Velo shama eleha, and he wouldn't listen to anything she said. He wouldn't give in. Lishkav itzla, to lie beside her, to be with her, to lay with her. Liot ima, and to be with her. She was trying to convince him to sleep with her, and he wouldn't he wouldn't give in. So the Zohar continues. Rabbi Elazar patach lemar. Rabbi Elazar opens and says, "Lishmocha me'eshed ra v'gomer." Quoting a verse from Proverbs, "Lishmocha me'eshed ra, nechelkat lashon nochriya." That we're going to learn how the spiritual path is what keeps us from what's called an evil woman. An evil woman, obviously, they're not talking about a physical person. We're not even talking about a woman. We're talking about, we said before, the word ra, which means evil, is the acronym for ratzon atzmi, the desire to receive the self alone. To be protected from our own selfishness and the path that leads to. And saying, the smooth tongue of a forbidden woman, right? Relating to how Joseph's master's wife, she was trying to sweet talk him. She was trying to convince him to be with her when she was forbidden to him. She was a married woman. He could not be with her, of course. Zakaini nun tzadikaya, Rabbi Elazar says, happy is the portion of the righteous, or happy are the righteous, the tzadikim. They know the ways of the Creator. They know the path of the Creator. They know how to walk on that path, to follow that path. Why do they know how to walk on the path of the Creator? Why do they know how to be connected to the Creator and the path of their soul? Because they study the Torah day and night. They are connected to this wisdom. They have a deep connection to this light. Not that they study texts, but that it's part of them. And we know what's the point of studying the Torah. We explained this many times. The studying of the Torah is not to learn things. The reason why we come to the day of the Zohar is not to learn things, although yes, we probably do. It's to align our consciousness with the Creator. It's to spot where my ego is hiding and tricks me, where my selfishness gets the best of me. When I study the Torah, what I'm doing, I'm aligning my thoughts with the Creator's thoughts. I'm purifying my desires to be aligned with the Creator's desires. My soul wants what the Creator wants, which is infinite light, while my ego just wants to be comfortable and feel good for a few seconds, no matter the cost. So the tzaddikim go on the path of the Creator because that's what the Torah is. The Torah puts us on that path. The Zohar says, whoever studies the Torah day and night also represents highs and lows. A lot of people come to spirituality when things are going bad in their life, which is also, can be good. But the point is not just to look for the Creator when things are going bad, but to feel that need and connection always, to know that we're always dependent on a connection to the light. What happens when people study day and night? They merit two worlds, Alma Ila'a, the upper world, and Alma Tata'a, the lower world. They merit blessings in this physical world. Vadash lishma. Even if a person doesn't have the right consciousness when they study, even if they don't have what's called lishma, to study for its own sake, to study for the connection to the reason, not just to make your life better, because the Torah, Kabbalah can help you make your life better by what you learn, help you become more successful in business. It can help you have a better relationship. It can help you, be a better a father and a brother, and everything in those ways. Absolutely, that's important. It can help you find a way to get what you want in life. But that's not studying Lishma. That's studying for my own agenda. The most powerful way to study this wisdom is to have your consciousness, for the reason to have your consciousness aligned with the Creator, to reveal this light for the world, to do it for the sake of removing darkness from this world. Not just only what you can get out of it, but what you do for others. Even if a person doesn't have the right intention when they study, they still merit great blessings in the physical world. And a person can merit the supernal worlds, can merit spiritual world, the upper worlds. When a person is able to study it for the right purpose with pure consciousness. Lishma, as we said. Paragraph 220. Tachazeh, come and see. Maktiv bimina bismola oshav kavod. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 16. In her right hand is length of days, in her left, riches and honor. And so here's going to use this verse to help explain the blessings that a person can merit through their connection to the light. What does it mean, a right hand, length of days? It's like it's talking about someone who goes down the path of the right, path of the Torah. Meaning, a person who is connected to the Torah studies lishma for its own sake, with the pure intention, pure desire. They experience the length of days in the world to come, in the spiritual world. Right? Just to remind ourselves, what does the world to come in this world mean? There are different explanations for it. Many people understand it to be, once you leave this world, that's this world. Once you leave this world, you have the world to come. But the Kabbalists explain, Rav Shimon speaks a lot about this. We're not talking about some reward in heaven. We're explaining how in this life, when you are physically in this world, you should be experiencing not just physical blessings, but also spiritual blessings. You should be experiencing a connection to endless light. So length of days in the world to come means a spiritual connection, revelation in a spiritual way. Because that is where a person is able to merit the glory of the Torah, the light of the Torah, the iu yekara v'kitra, which is like which is glory and the crown, litatra al kola, which is crowned above everything else. V'chita deoraita behu alma ihu, because the crown of the Torah is the crown above everything else, and is the crown in that world, in the spiritual world. Right? That's another thing, it's like, I love how Avi Nachmias says this. He says, you have people who are very successful in this world. Think about the most wealthy people, let's say, in this world. They have mastered 100% of the 1%. Yes, there's nothing in this world that they can't buy. There's nothing in this world that they can't do. But that's 100% of the 1%. What is the Torah? What is a spiritual connection? It's where you master the 99%. Actually, it's where you master both. Right? We talk about the 99% and the 1%. The 99% represents the spiritual world, the connection to the light. 1% represent the physical world. How do you have 100% of 100%? It's when you've mastered the physical world, of course, but it's really when you master the 99%. And you know what? Even if you don't master the 1% of this world, At least if you master 100% out of the 99%, that's much more, right? To have 100% of 1% is almost nothing compared to have 99%, 100% of 99%, right? So to master the spiritual is to master so much more, to have so much more than what a person can master in this physical world, ruled by physicality and by their ego. So the Zohar is saying that's what the Keter Torah is, the crown of the Torah. It's where you have the 100% of the 99%. Bismillah oshe v'chavod. Bismillah oshe v'chavod, the next part of the verse, in her left, riches and honor. Behayama represents the physical world, right? The 1%. Daf hagav delait asik b'lishma. And even if a person connects to the Torah and study this wisdom with not the right purpose, not the right intention, nevertheless, in this world, zacha be'alma be'otra b'ikara, they could still nevertheless receive great blessings in the physical world. But is very limited. Paragraph 221. The Zohar now tells a beautiful story. Rabbi Chia, one of the students of Rabbi Shimon, one of the friends, one of the channels of the Zohar, kad ata me'at mehata le'arach d'Yisrael, when he came from Bavel, from Babylon to Israel. A lot of the sages were exiled to Babylon. They came back. When he came back to the land of Israel, Kara be'oraita, he was studying the Torah. He was studying, he was meditating, he was teaching. Adahavo anpoi nehirin keshimsha, until his face was glowing, was shining like the sun. And it's interesting that that phrase the Zohar uses is one that you see throughout the different um, Kabbalistic writings and descriptions. First, what I thought about, it says, for example, Moses. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai, it says that his face, his face was shining. His face was shining so bright, people couldn't even look at his face. He had to cover his face with a veil. It says that also Rabbi Yonatan ben Uziel, when he would study, such light would shine from him that if any birds flew over him, they would burn because of the intensity of the light. And then I remember two more descriptions that actually the Rav writes about his teacher, Rav Brandwein. It says one day, the Rav writes this in his introduction to Two Beloved People, Beloved of My Soul. In English, it is published as Education of a Kabbalist. The Rav writes that one night he came to study with his teacher in Israel. And he saw that his teacher's face was shining like the brightness of the sun or the brightness of the heavens. And the Rav came to tell his teacher that he had a dream, and his teacher, Rav Brandwein, wanted to tell the Rav that he had a dream. Rav Brandwein, at that moment, I think he finished he finished the entire 10 Luminous Emanations, and he had a dream of his teacher, Rav Ashlag, who put his hands over his head and blessed him. And Rav Brandwein was not just happy for the message he got from his teacher, but he was shining with the bright light, as we understand now what the Zohar is saying. We understand what Rav Brandwein was going through. He was experiencing this revelation. His face was shining with the brightness, not because he was happy he had a dream, but because he was shining with the light of the Torah that was shining within him. The Rav says that he remembers seeing this shining face and of his teacher. And the Rav wanted to tell Rav Brandwein that he also had a dream of Rav Ashlag that same night, that Rav Ashlag revealed that he was the reincarnation of a great Kabbalist of Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, the Ramchal. I also personally have maybe not the same. I remember a specific time. This was in LA years ago. I remember on Friday night one time. This is maybe the closest I can, imagine or relate to seeing this shining face. I remember one time on Friday night, Michael Berg walked in with the first pages of the new print of the Zohar with the vowels and I think also with possibly pages of the English Zohar that was being published. This was probably mid-90s. I was a young kid. And I remember the first time I heard about someone's face shining, that's what I think about. I remember his face was shining when he came with such happiness to show all the chevra, all the teachers, the progress with the Zohar. So this is Rabbi Chia's face was glowing, it was shining with like the sun. And he came before all those who were studying the Torah. Hava Amar, he would say to them, Da ishtad b'oraita lishma. He would say, this person, they're studying lishma, they're studying with the right consciousness. Their connection is pure. V'dela ishtad lishma. This person, they're not studying as purely, their intention is not as pure. And what would he do? This is so beautiful. We want Rabbi Chia to do this for us because we're not just reading about a nice story. We want to be able to receive the same blessing. He would pray for the person who was studying Lishma with the right intention, the right consciousness, in a pure state. He would pray for that person. What would he pray? He would pray that this person would always have the merit to have this connection, to always consistently have this consciousness. And he would merit the world to come. He would pray for those who didn't have the right consciousness. That's probably more of us, who don't have the consciousness to study Lishma, don't have pure intention in our study and our connection. What would he pray for them? What would he pray for us? That we will have the merit to come to study the Torah with the right purpose, the right intention, with purity of consciousness and thought. We will merit everlasting life. What a beautiful prayer. And he would do this for those around him. This is really the tzaddikim, they see us and they always want to lift us up. They see, that's what the Ramchal, and interesting we mentioned the Ramchal now, but the Ramchal would say that what is the job of a tzaddik? What is the job of the writings of the tzaddik? It's like when you're going through the maze of life. He gives an example like a garden maze. When you're in the maze, it's very confusing. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to get stuck. The tzaddikim and the writings they leave for us and the path they leave for us, it's like they've already passed through the maze, they sit above it, and they see you struggling, they see the dead end you're about to walk into, and they guide you to say, no, take a right here, take a right, take a left there, walk a little further, don't be afraid, it looks like you're going to get lost, but don't worry, keep going. The tzaddikim guide us through the maze of this physical world. And even more than just the guidance they give, the prayers that they have for us, the desire that they have for us. Very beautiful. 222. Yom Echad. So continuing the story, paragraph 222, continuing with the story. Yom Echad, one day, Chama Chad Talmidi, saw one student. To have a lai be'oratan, he was studying the Torah, he was connecting. Van Poe Morikan, his face was pale. Something didn't seem right about him. Right? If Rabbi Chia's face was shining and glowing like the sun, I guess the opposite of that would be pale. Now, maybe he didn't physically look pale. Maybe he saw that the light that was supposed to shine from his face was dim, was pale. Right? I wonder what we look like, right? Well, hopefully Rabbi Chia will pray for us, and hopefully we'll have greater desire and purity, and then our face will also shine. But he saw the student's face was pale. Rabbi Chia says, surely this person, why are they so drained of light? Why are they so pale? Because he must have some negative thoughts going through his head. He must be, as the Zohar translates, literally contemplating sin. He must be his ego, his selfishness, his desire to receive. His opponent must be messing with his head right now. He brought the student before him. Right? There's a beautiful word. Ached means like to held on. Ached means to hold. So he held him in front of him. Right? He took him in. And the translations, it's such specific, beautiful words that are used in the Aramaic and Hebrew that the English doesn't do it justice. It's like the best way to translate it is probably what we have in the English. He spoke to him the words of the Torah, but it's like he he like himshich. He like drew the light of the Torah onto the person, right? It's not like he was just speaking to him or teaching him. He took that light and drew it down to that person. But that's how we want to be studying. It's not, we don't want someone teaching to us. We don't want to be reading. We want the amshich alei mimin deoraita. We want this light to be drawn down to us. Adit yashav ruchei begavei, until the person's spirit was returned, was restored within them. Right? Because what happens when we have negative thoughts? What happens when we have selfishness coursing through our consciousness and our within ourselves? Whenever we are selfish, whenever we have thoughts of our ego, we push aside the voice of our soul. When a person gets angry, they push the soul out of themselves. When a person has negative thoughts, because the soul doesn't want to be in a place of negativity. So when we have selfish thoughts or negative thoughts, we push our soul out. So what he was doing was he was pushing the opponent back to its place and drawing the person's soul back into them, restoring their spirit within them. In order for that person not to chase after those negative thoughts that he had. And instead connect the Torah with the right purpose, with the right consciousness. Right? This is also a very powerful section to read. And this is also, the Zohar is also revealing, how do you overcome the negative thoughts that you have? Why do we connect and study the Torah? Why do we study the Zohar and connect so much? Because it's what helps us return our spirit to us. Every day we have the voice of our opponent messing with us. How do you overcome the voice of your opponent? How do you overcome the selfishness that each of us have? How are we supposed to battle that heaviness of our body and the heaviness of our ego? It's so simple. As often as possible, we want to be studying the Zohar. As often as possible, connecting to the Torah, not just reading it, not just, superficially connecting. We want to really have this desire the same way that Rabbi Chia drew this light into this person. And the more light came in, the more darkness was removed, the more negativity left them. Right, do I have this here? No. I think, where did we have this? Maybe I have, okay, I have this quote later in paragraph 224. We'll get to it. By the way, because it's Sunday, I hope everyone's okay if we go over a little bit. We've also had a very short week last week. We have a short week next week. I hope everyone's okay that we go a little over time. We often do go over time, but maybe a little more than usual. Paragraph 223. Amar Yosef, Rabbi Yosef says, when a person notices that their negative thoughts are taking over, that they have negative thoughts, selfish thoughts, judgmental thoughts about themselves, about others, to do negative things. What's the advice Rabbi Yosef says? It asag beoraita, study the Torah. Connect to the light of the Torah. Uchdein itavun mineh. Then the negative thoughts, the control of the opponent will leave. Amar Rabbi Elazar says, Kadahu sit Rabbi sha'atel bifte leilevanash. When the opponent, the thoughts of the opponent come to seduce a person, come to control a person, yeha mashich leile gabe deoraita. There's another phrase that, well, let's read this here. Pull him to the Torah, ve'yit perash minei, and it will leave him, right? So the phrase that's told in the Talmud in different writings, it says you should drag your opponent into the Beit HaMidrash, drag your opponent into the place of study, drag your opponent into the Zohar. A lot of people say, I'm not in a good mood. I'm having negative thoughts. I've done something negative. I'm feeling lazy. The Zohar says, yeah, great. With all your selfishness and all the negativity and all your laziness, drag it to the Zohar. Our opponent wants us to think that when we're in a negative state, we shouldn't be connected to such great light. But that's exactly when we need the light the most. This is what Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Elazar are saying. When the opponent is controlling you, when your negative thoughts are controlling you, that's when you need the light of the Zohar the most. That's how you purge those selfish thoughts and negativity from within you. It's like taking a pill. It's the only thing that will get rid of it. As we'll see, the Zohar will continue to explain, and we'll have that quote from the sages as well. Paragraph 224. Tachas, come and see. Dehat Tanid, and we've learned. Dechad hai sit rabisha. We've learned about this negative side. When this negative side, the evil inclination, our opponent, uh, what does it do? The opponent stands in front of the Creator, la'asta al-alma, to bring judgment to the world, begin ovadin bishin, because of the negative actions that we've done. So now the Zohar is taking it from the personal and talking about it now on a global scale. What happens when the negative side tries to bring judgment upon the world based on our actions? The Creator nevertheless has mercy upon our world, has mercy for us. And the Creator has given us advice. The Creator has given us a path. The Creator has given us a way to avoid not only the negative effect of judgment and selfishness, but a cure for the judgment and the cause of that negativity, which is the opponent. To be saved from the judgment and the source of judgment. And the judgment cannot control us. And it cannot have an effect on the negative actions we've done. And what is this advice? What is the greatest advice that a person can have, the Creator gives us? What is the greatest gift that we have to experience the blessings of life, to overcome all challenges? To study the Torah, to connect to this great light. Again, it's not about sitting and reading. It's about making a connection, plugging into the tree of life reality. And it will be saved from all the judgments and negativities. And how do we know this? How do we know this? Dichtiv, as it says, it says in Proverbs, it's a very silly translation. It's very literal, but it misses the whole point. So let's try and translate it more accurately. Kiner mitzvah v'torah, because the mitzvah, the connection to the Creator, is a candle, right? Every positive action we do is light that's revealed. V'torah, the light of the Torah, connection to the Torah, is a great light. Now, how do you get rid of darkness? Right? You turn on the light. V'derech chayim tochechot musar. The way of life is rebuke the disciplines. Right? But what is rebuke the disciplines? It's not in a negative way, not rebuke in a negative way. The sages teach, we learned about this in the Zohar, not in our study, but in the portion of Vayikra. The Zohar says, what is the greatest way a person can change is when they study, and then because they're making a connection, then the Creator shows them where their opponent is. The Creator shows them what path they might be walking on that's leading them to negativity. It says that specifically when a person studies between midnight and dawn, they hear the whispers of the Creator showing them how they get in their own way, where their opponent is blocking them, how the evil inclination is stopping them. So that's what really, and that's how you know if you're really connecting to the Torah. Again, it's not how much you know, it's not how much you've studied. Are you experiencing more of that candle, more of that light? Are you seeing more of where your own ego is and where you need to change? Are you actually transforming? Because that's what the light of the Torah is supposed to bring for us. Maktiv, what does it say? Batrei, the next verse. As it says, the verse that we began this chapter. Right? Is that how we started it? Yeah, that's how paragraph 219 began. By making this connection, you will be protected from the selfishness, from, let's say, the evil woman that it says, whatever that represents in your life, from the smooth tongue of a forbidden woman, whatever that negativity represents, the Torah is what protects us from the evil inclination. And that's why the famous verse it says in Masechet Kiddushin, Bara HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yetzer Hara, the Creator created the evil inclination, Bara lo Torah Tavlin, but the Creator created the cure. Oh, the Creator created the remedy for the evil inclination, and that's the Torah. There is only one cure for the one only disease. We think there's lots of problems in our lives. We think there's lots of reasons why there's darkness in this world. We think there's lots of reasons why there's challenges in our own life. The sages make it very clear. There is only one cause for all the darkness in this world, and that is the desire to receive the self alone. That is our opponent within. That is our selfishness and our ego. And there is only one cure. There is only one remedy for that negativity, for the opponent, and that is the Torah. Again, not the literal Torah, but the connection to this great light. As we said, the connection, the candle of the mitzvot, right? The representing the spiritual actions that we take and the consciousness that we have and the study that we have and the consciousness that we have to unify our thoughts with the Creator. You could try anything to make your life better, but if it doesn't have a connection to the Torah and the transformation that we need to go through, that the opening of our heart and this connection to this great light that overcomes the only force in this world that needs to be overcome, and it's not going to really accomplish what it needs to. And that's why we've shared this many times throughout our studies and recently especially. But that's why, right? There's a phrase in the Talmud that says a person comes and says, "I have a headache." Right? I have a problem in life. Maybe I have a physical headache, or I'm having headaches in life. The sages would tell him, "Go and study Torah." He says, "But I did study Torah." What would they tell him? Connect more, study more Torah. Do it with more consistency. Do it with more intensity. Do it with more consciousness. Do it with more time and investment. Connect more deeply, because all problems in this world, all problems in our lives only come from the evil inclination. And the only cure, right, like the Ramachal, according to the Ramachal a few times today, maybe because we're connected to his soul, as we said, as the story of the Rav. The Ramchal says, we've quoted this teaching a few weeks ago. He says, like a person who tries to solve the problems of their life with anything but the Torah is like a person who gets a diagnosis from the doctor. And the doctor says, "Look, you need to take this medication. This is the only medication for the only problem that you have. Or you need to do this operation." And the person says, you know what? I'll just figure it out myself. I'll do what I want. It doesn't work that way, right? The Creator who created the opponent is telling us this is the only cure for the opponent. And then we try and figure out other ways. The opponent confuses us. I know we're over time, but we're going to just keep going a little bit more. I hope that's okay. 225. V'dahu sita de misava. And this is what the impure side represents. Sita de achra, the other side, which represents the side of darkness. Di'ihi kaima tadir kamei kuchevlichu. This negative side always stands in front of the Creator. La'asta al chovehon divnei nasha. To come and bring accusations, to bring judgment upon the negative actions of humanity, the selfish actions of humanity. And always coming to bring accusations about us down here below, bringing judgment and negativity down here below upon humanity. Always standing up above with the Creator, to remind the Creator of the negative things that we've done. Right? The negative side is always trying to bring judgment down onto us and to the world. But that system is also how it needs to be, right? There needs to be cause and effect. There needs to be forces of judgment so that we can change as well. And to bring judgment upon their actions. So the opponent negative side, the negative side brings judgments, brings accusations upon our consciousness and our negative actions, upon the negative actions that we do and the negative consciousness that we have. So what the opponent wants is to be given permission to take control over us, to be put in his hands like Job was put in his hands. We know the story of Job. The Creator told him Vayom Hashem el hasatan. God said to the Satan, to the adversary, right? I like it here that they translate Satan as adversary, right? People think it's Satan. We say this in Kabbalah 1. Satan is not a devil. It just represents a force of adversary. Hino v'yadcha ached nafsho shemo. Take, you know, Job is in your hands, Satan. You can do anything you want to him. Just don't, only spare his life. And that's why we know the story of Job, all the troubles he went through, was because Satan managed to put certain judgments on him and the Creator handed him over. Obviously, this is not what we want to happen to us or anyone in this world. 226. V'chen kaima alayhu la'asta. When when this force of judgment, when the negative side comes to judge us, ul'ad karech and to remind the creator of. Oh, wait, 1 second. Okay, the translation is a little different here. Either way, when the negative side is standing and trying to bring judgment to the world, and remind our negativity. And this is also one of the beautiful things, because now this is what I was going to mention about Rosh Hashanah. What does the opponent try to do? It says that whatever we forget, the universe remembers. Whatever we remember, the universe forgets. So, what is the only way the negative side can bring judgment to you and to your life? It's only on things that you've forgotten about. Negative actions or negative things that have slipped your mind. Then the universe can bring judgment upon you. That's why King David says, "V'chatati negdi tamid." My sin, my negativity, the negative things that I've done, I always held them close to me. I always remembered them. Every single day, King David remembered every negative thing he did. And because he remembered the negative things he did, the universe forgot them. Every negative thing that we forget, the universe remembers. And that is what the opponent tries to bring judgment upon. Everything we are able to remember, the universe cannot hold against us. So it tries to bring judgment on and remember all the negative things that we've done. And those are the moments where the Creator stands above the world in judgment, meaning the time of Rosh Hashanah and the time of Yom Kippur and the beginning of the month of Libra. And then the negative side stands there and tries to bring judgment and remind the universe about, remind the Creator about all the negativity. But the Creator has mercy on us. The Creator has mercy on Israel. And the Creator gave us advice to protect ourselves, to save ourselves from all the negativity. Uvamet, what is this advice? What spiritual tools have we been given to overcome all judgment, especially in the time of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur? We have the shofar that we use to remove all the judgments on Rosh Hashanah. We know there's so much technology and secrets about the power of the shofar, but it helps overcome all the forces of judgment, sweeten all the forces of negativity. And what happens on Yom Kippur, we don't physically do this anymore, but the tool we were given on Yom Kippur, with the special goat that was sent off. We had the two goats in the temple. One was offered in the temple, the other was sent off to it was Lazazel. It went off the cliff to remove all the negativity from the world. It's like, and the Zohar says, what did it do? Begin lead pasha minayu. It's in order to get the negative side to leave us alone, and for the negative side to deal with the portion given to him. And this is what we studied. We've learned this, that when we throw that goat off, then that is given to the negative side, and that negative side takes a little piece, and they leave us alone because they're happy with the judgments that they got. I know we're really over. I don't think we've ever gone so over time. I think we have to stop, but I think we're going to just do one more, if that's okay with everyone. Or we should probably stop. It's very late. Let's just do one more. Just one more. 227. Tachazeh, come and see. Makti, what does it say? V'raglea yodot mavet she'ol tze'adea itmochu. I probably shouldn't have started this because this might take a while, but hopefully we'll explain it quickly. There's a verse in Proverbs. Kabbalists explain this verse represents the path of negativity. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold of Sheol. Sheol is another name for like hell. What does it mean that her legs, her feet go down to death? It represents the path of selfishness. Like the Malchut, the Rav Shimon explains this verse to explain the Malchut. The bottom of the Malchut is connected to the Klipot. The bottom of selfishness, right? Desire is always attached to negativity. This is written in Rav Shimon speak about this in the study of the Ten Luminous Emanations. But what's the opposite? Right? If a person is connected to their selfishness, it's going to always lead to death. Right? That's what that path looks like. The path of the selfishness. While people think, okay, I can be selfish, I can be manipulative, I can have ego, then I'll be successful, I'll be happy. Always leads to death. It always leads to the same path. Selfishness always leads to the same path. And what about in the path of certainty, the secret of certainty of faith? What does it say? There's another path. Her path, her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peaceful. This represents the path connected to the light. That even if you make mistakes, even if you make a wrong turn here and there, your desire is to connect to the light. Your consciousness is pure. All the paths will take you there to the light. When your selfishness is controlling you, it doesn't matter even if you are using spiritual tools. If your selfishness is controlling, it's going to take you down to darkness. If you use light for the sake of selfishness, it'll lead you to death, to darkness. Even if you use the path of light, all the paths are pleasant. All the paths bring you to peace. All the paths bring you to light. What are these paths? These are the paths of the Torah. The path that we're on, the spiritual path that we're on, brings us to a connection to the Creator. And that's why Rav Shimon says that there's one singular path of our soul, one singular path that connects to the Creator, and everything else leads you somewhere else. B'chola chad. It's just one path. It's all one. And just like there's the one path, then there's everything else. Hai shalom. This path is the path of peace, of wholeness, of perfection. The hai mavet. And the other path, the path of the ego, the path of the selfishness, will lead to death, will lead to disconnection from the light. The chola hipuchan daminda. And they are always opposite one from the other. That the path of impurity, the path of selfishness, the path of desire to receive the self alone, the path of negativity will always lead to more negativity. And the opposite of that path is the path of holiness, the path of desire to share, the path of connection. Let's do one more. Bear with me, one more. 228. Zaka'achu lekahod Israel. We have some time. It's Sunday, it's a holiday. We have some time. Happy is the portion of Israel. That they are attaching themselves, they cleave themselves to the Creator as they should. That's also why we're on this path. The path is not just for more blessings, although yes, we will. This path is not just to study and know things, although yes, we do. The path is what attaches us to the Creator. We don't just want to receive blessings from the Creator. We want to be attached to the Creator. Because when you're attached to the Creator, then you have an unlimited source of connection and blessings. And that's what the study is for, is to attach our consciousness to the Creator. The Creator has given us advice, the Creator has given us a path. That's why people misunderstand this whole path. They think that the Torah or this is a religion. It's not a religion, it's an advice. It's advice, a path that a person can be on that can connect them to the Creator. Every single one of the mitzvot, every single one of the positive actions that we do is not to make God happy. It's not to please God. God doesn't need us. It's because every action that we do, every positive action that we do, brings me closer to connection to the Creator. It's what aligns me with the Creator. And every negative action that I avoid doing, also, every act of restriction brings me closer to the Creator, aligns me in affinity with the Creator. Because this is the holy nation that is the Creator's inheritance and the Creator's portion. Right? What makes us holy? It's not about our ancestry. It's about the spiritual ancestry that we have, meaning what's in our DNA of restriction. If we live with a restriction, that's what the ancestry of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is. It's restriction. Deep in our soul, we have that connection of restriction. And when we live with restriction, with balance, with central column, then that represents what's called the Creator's portion, the Creator's inheritance. We are connected to the Creator in that way. And therefore, the Creator has given us advice in everything, which means that's what's so beautiful also about the path of Kabbalah is that there is a way to do everything with consciousness. There is a way to eat with consciousness. There is that which connects you to the Creator. There's a way to sleep with consciousness that connects you with the Creator. There's a way to, of course, raise your family with consciousness that connects you with the Creator. There's a way to get dressed in the morning with consciousness that connects you to the Creator. The Creator has given us a path that applies to every aspect of our lives. That we can use that path, that we can follow that path. Even the Ari speaks about a way to sit. What does it mean? You sit, how you sit? No, if you want to cross your legs, you cross your legs with your right over your left. You want to cross your arms, you put your right over your left. Always sharing over receiving. In every aspect of the life that we live, the Kabbalists give us guidance. The Torah gives us guidance to connect to our soul, to connect to the Creator. We have advice in everything. That's why this path, there's so many details to it, but it's because every detail is what brings us close to the Creator. And it's many opportunities to connect to the light. People find it burdensome, but actually, when you understand that we're given so many tools and so many opportunities to connect, it's the greatest blessing that exists. Happy are they in this world and the world to come. When we follow this path and we have when we use these tools and these gifts, then we will always experience fulfillment and joy. We'll always be connected to the Creator and experience endless light. I want to keep going. I would love to keep going, but we do have to stop. So we're going to continue tomorrow on paragraph 229. And just a reminder about the schedule this week. We have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. No class on Wednesday and Thursday. Just a little update about our book, the Daily Zohar book, the Michael Berg, it's not our book, the book that we want to be a part of helping publish, that Michael Berg is working on. We have a goal of raising $52,000 for the dedication for helping print this book. We are now at approximately, I think, 10 or 11, no, we're almost at $15,000. We're almost at $15,000, so we still have a long way to go. But I want to thank everyone so far who has contributed as much as you have. It's every little bit is helping, and we have exactly, I forgot to mention this, today is exactly 1 month till Lag BaOmer, right? So the light of Lag BaOmer, the light of the Zohar already starts to shine for us. We're exactly 30 days from Lag BaOmer, the day of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, because today is the 18th of Nisan, and Lag BaOmer is the 18th of Iyar, 18th of Taurus. So all the light of Rabbi Shimon is starting to shine for us in a more powerful way. And our goal is to reach our fundraising goal for this book by Lag BaOmer. So if not physically, hopefully physically we manage to, but if not, with at least pledges and commitments towards our goal. So thank you guys so much for the support of helping bring this beautiful book that Michael Berg is gonna finish and print hopefully next year, but helping bring it to life and for everyone's effort and connection and light that we all reveal together. Wishing everyone an amazing day, lots of love, and see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Thank you.